The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now. Not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom.
We can't let it get worse.
What can I do?
We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in CARIFORUM, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Louise Clark from the St. Kitts Nevis Fire and Rescue Services with your safety tip for today. Keep items that can catch on fire at least 3 feet away from anything that gets hot, such as space heaters. Smoking materials can cause residential fire death. If you smoke, take precautions. Smoke outside. Choose fire-safe cigarettes. Never smoke in bed, when drowsy or medicated, or if anyone in the home is using oxygen.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
Well, in the studio with me this morning, I know I indicated earlier, and I said we're going to have Timothy and Rommel, but Rommel is engaged at the moment, so he is unable to be here this morning. However, one of the member of the dynamic duo, he's here in the studio with us this morning to make sure the information is shared with us. We do this each and every Tuesday morning, by the way, from 9:30, just for 15 minutes thereabout. Sometimes we push it a little extra, depends on what's happening. And let me say good morning to all of our viewers and all of our listeners as well. Timothy, greetings and welcome once again.
Good morning, GQ, and good morning, listening audience. Hope everyone is feeling well today. I know most persons are battling the flu, so I hope they do get over that. So, health to everyone. All right, so GQ, this morning I just want to share some safety tips. We started out the year by giving statistics report, so I just want to cover some general safety tips. We might not be too much because there are many out there, but I'm just going to highlight just a few.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So. The first one we want to touch on is smoke alarms or smoke detectors. And we want to encourage everyone to have a smoke detector in their house. They save lives, okay? Have them on each level of your house, and preferably in sleeping quarters, so in the dead of night and you are asleep, that alarm can be triggered and wake you to alert you that, hey, something is wrong. There is fire in the home. All right.
Before you continue, why do you need? Don't you think the smoke will wake you up if you're sleeping?
Well, the thing about that, GQ, smoke puts you into a deeper sleep. The carbon monoxide and different type of gases within the smoke, that actually puts you to sleep deeper. Someone who get upset at smelling smoke, they could consider themselves fortunate.
Okay. Right? So that's why those alarms are so loud.
So loud and annoying.
Yes,
you know, it's not a pleasant sound at all.
Right. Okay. All right. Continue.
All right. In addition to these smoke detectors, you need, to having these smoke detectors, you would need to test them regularly. So there's no need in saying, hey, I bought a smoke detector, I install it, and just forget about it. You have to maintain these smoke detectors, make sure that the battery is working properly. It's at its optimum level. All right, so when it comes to escape plans now, this is something that every household must do. Have an escape plan. In the event of a fire, they know how to get out of the building. There's 2 ways out of the building. Obviously, most homes, you have front door, you have back door. But then you have an option of using a window as an exit as well. Okay? And you should practice this escape plan both daytime, also nighttime. You never could tell when an emergency might take place, and you should be ready for any hour of the day. Also to practice that with your children. Get them involved. When it comes to drawing out a plan, let them be involved as well. Your children, sometimes they come up with the most creative ideas. All right. So don't exclude your little 5-6-year-old out of the equation in terms of drafting a plan. Get their input as well.
Right.
And the schools do things with them as well, so they might have some knowledge coming from the school side of things.
Right.
Right. All right. So you also have to have a meeting place. That is important. Just in the event that you are not present when something goes down, then you would know exactly where to go to find your loved ones. That is something that every household should have.
Because when everyone is panicking, right? You don't. You should, but things happen. You're panicking, and everyone, gets out, but. They got their own. They might be over the neighbor or so and so.
Right.
Or they might be down the road watching to see what's going on.
Exactly.
You never know, right? So have a plan, meeting place.
A meeting place.
Okay, that's what you said. All right.
When you have multi-story homes, even business places, a fire situation occurs, don't ever use the elevator to get down. All right. Make sure that you use the stairs. Majority of persons who use an elevator during a fire situation, they either get trapped. Once smoke starts to fill that elevator shaft, you basically have nowhere to go. All right, so you stay in there, you inhale all those chemical, the smoke, it puts you down in no time. Someone may not even know that you're in the elevator.
Right.
So they're preoccupied in doing other things, maybe saving somebody who has a hand out to the window, not realizing that somebody slipped into the elevator to get down and that person did not come out.
Right.
So don't ever use elevators as an escape route in multiple story buildings. Right? Smokers. That is a habit that not everyone, most persons around is doing. So whenever you feel the need to smoke, make sure you have a safe practice. Use an ashtray. Never smoke in bed. Make sure you probably get up, go outside to do your smoking. You smoke in bed, sometimes the ash falls, and that bit of ash could end up generate and catch the fabrics and end up cause a fire. You may be asleep, your hand falls down on the pillow or the bed itself, that stays there and end up catches a fire. So you have to be mindful of this. When it comes to if your clothes catches fire, some persons work out, hey, running might be the best option for them, but when you run, it fans the fire, so to speak. But if you stop, drop and roll, simple procedure, stop, drop and roll, that causes the fire to smother. You will smother out the fire. Remember we spoke about a matchstick. If you light a matchstick and you just put it upside down straight, you see how quickly that flame reaches to your fingertips. Versus if you have it horizontally, it stays a bit longer
to burn
right. Across. All right. So if your clothes ever is on fire, GQ, make sure to do what? Stop,
drop and roll.
All right. For those persons who love to cook, right? Now, always be alert when you're in the kitchen. You never leave your handles, your pot handles, outside, well, facing you. Have them away. So just in case you have an inquisitive child, and children are inquisitive by nature, they don't go and grab the pot handles. All right. In reference to what I call them, pot holders and things like that, you have to be mindful as to where you're actually putting them down. Some persons in a haste, they might put down the pot holder on top of the stove, not realizing that the burners is still hot, and then they go on to do something else, and that can cause a fire within the kitchen. Make sure that you keep your kitchen area clean. So your stove, make sure that it is clear of any grease residue that may have been, left over from previous cooking. Make sure to wipe down your burners, wipe down the surface of at the back of the stove. Grease spatters, and that over time deposits leave a buildup, and you just need the right atmosphere, the right temperature to reach that grease, and you can have a fire started there. Whenever you're cooking, don't wear loose clothing. Make sure that you have something.
Forgive me, I chuckle because I don't think most people, I don't think we who cook, we don't go to the kitchen with the mindset of I need to put on appropriate clothes to go and cook. Whatever we have on, we just go and cook. But I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying the way I chuckle.
You might have on a robe, and some of these robes, the sleeves are a bit long. So then you go and you're there doing a thing, not realizing that hey, your arm went over the flame and your robe is on fire. So be mindful of the type of clothing that you wear while in the kitchen.
Something to consider in 2023.
Of course. Never leave cooking unattended. That is straightforward.
We should add one. Never cook when you're tired.
Exactly. Yeah. Because hey, I get home from work, as an example. Get home from work, I'm feeling tired. I go on, I put a pot on the stove, work out that hey, I'm gonna do a quick pot, as we would say, and then you fall asleep, not realizing that what you're cooking is now is not quick anymore, but it is slow roasting, and then that happens to start to get charred, and then right, fire breaks out in the home. Yeah. All right.
Unfortunately, we had a similar experience to that in 2022 with one of our guests who shared that story about being tired. So so as I say, I'll just highlight that,
Of course.
Because it can happen.
Of course. It can happen. Now, there is persons who like to leave matches and lighters and so lying around. Remember, children, especially if you have children in the home, make sure to store these things away from these children. Put them on a high shelf, and maybe not even children, elderly folks as well, persons who may have reached that age now that they need some assistance in the kitchen. So you need to put away these things from persons. Like
stick a pin. Can you put on your headphones? I was just seeing some calls coming in. Not too sure if they want to touch base with you. I know they haven't spoken to you guys for 2023 as yet. And I just checked on the YouTube channel and I realized Sonny Boy in the Bronx, he's saying good morning to both of us.
Good morning, Sonny Boy.
Yeah. Good morning to you, Sonny Boy. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hey.
Okay, good people in there.
Yes, man.
Now, from my experience, you could tired and cook, But while you pat on doing, make yourself comfortable by sitting down or laying down. Stand up and comfortable so that you don't fall asleep and your pot won't get burned.
I got you.
And the second thing is that I heard you said that it is important and all households must have an escape door or window. That is true. But how about all passenger public service vehicle have a fire extinguisher with them? Just like how a public service vehicle cannot go in a gas station with passengers in it where the gas pump go full up. That is for safety. Where you carry in more than one person, so therefore they should have a fire extinguisher in the vehicle. That should be part of their licensing for the vehicle. And the last thing, something pertaining to my good friend GQ. GQ like to play domino, but I warn him already, tell him when he going to play domino, he must walk with a fire extinguisher, because all he does is matching. Thank you very much.
A light moment there for the man culture. But before we take the next call, though, I just want to highlight a point that he made. Even though he's highlighting that, you can still take a chance. I just want to admonish that we shouldn't take chances. We shouldn't take chances. I mean, honestly, our culture is saying
anything could happen.
But anything could happen.
Even though you work out in your mind, hey, I'm going to stand up and wait for the pot to come in.
Right.
Something could happen. You get a phone call, next thing you look, you sit down to
the
take
point
that
is you're
call.
tired.
Exactly.
Your point is you're tired. So I don't want people to take any risk.
Exactly.
So out of all your suggestions, culture, I applaud you for your recommendations and your suggestions, with the exception of that one. I don't think we should take risk. Let's take this call. Good morning, you're live.
Hello, GQ.
Yes, man. Hey, Sonny Boy, just saw your message.
Sonny Boy.
Hey, Sergeant Martin.
Morning to you, Sonny Boy.
I just called you out to wish you all a happy and prosperous New Year.
Same to you, man.
Thank you, Sonny Boy.
Hope you have a wonderful 2023.
Just a happy and prosperous New Year.
Good morning, you're live. Thank you, Sonny. And all the best to you and your family as well, man. Good morning. Hey.
And good morning, my fire officer.
Good morning to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you, man.
Thank you.
And to your colleague and to the institution that you work at, to all your hard-working fellow fire officers.
Thank you very much.
I don't understand how Mr. Culture to get in so easy, I really don't understand. But good morning, Culture.
Sound like he's been trying a lot, man.
Yes, that's exactly. You're reading my mind. And you hear what the gentleman said when if your clothes start to catch on fire, what you supposed to do?
Stop, drop, and roll.
Okay, I like that. Mr. Martin, you gave some great tips. I hear listening, and you are on the point. And I hope a lot of persons are listening, and this show can maybe be broadcast, or person can listen to these tips, because they are very, very essential tips. Because some person make the fatal mistake of putting on pot and go into the bed and say, I'm just going to take a 5.
Yeah.
And then the 5 turn into an hour, and the hour turn into your house on fire.
Indeed.
And even concerning the pots, I always emphasize, tell my wife, listen me, when you're cooking, please turn the handles around. Because yes, we have a little grandson. I always try to tell him, his father, do not allow him into the kitchen, but at the same time, they are children.
They're quick, They're quick.
Trust me. Better than Joseph Bolt. And the thing about it, once they get in there, that's it. As you rightly say, they're inquisitive. They see the handle, they're gonna put up their hand.
Yep.
So the best thing is to do, make sure you turn them away from, and even the cleaning of the stove. And one thing people don't realize, the longevity of a stove. Once you finish cooking, if something spills, as soon as you finish, just maybe 5 minutes, once it's warm, you just use a cloth and you wipe off the stove.
Easy.
Once the
easy
grease
to
build up,
come
it is a serious problem.
Right.
And you get the best out of your stove. So but as I said, I enjoyed the show. It was on point, you know what I mean, and I hope a lot of persons are listening, because these tips that you gave can save lives. No, if not maybe about it. And great show as usual, and just continue what you're doing into 2023, and all the best to you and your colleagues.
Drop us,
Have a
buddy.
good day.
That's man.
Thanks a lot, man.
Good morning, you're live and lively.
Good morning, JQ.
Hey, Mr. Politics, morning.
I'm good, not too bad. I'm good morning to Romel and Timothy there.
Good morning to you, sir.
Eh?
Good morning to you.
Yeah, a blessed new year to you all. Now, I'm glad you come with, when you put on a pot on the stove, do not go in your bed and just sleep. And also too, when you put on a pot on the stove, make sure, if you're going anywhere, make sure you check the house, or check the kitchen first, before you enter out the door, before you go out the door.
Back check.
Back check. Because what happened to me, one evening, I had some bread not cooking, and sit up my bed, trying to how me to put on my clothes to go work. I realized that I still forget that I put on the bread not them. It's when I reach on the job, I say, remember me, boy.
Wow.
I have some bread not home, I have some bread not home on the phone, boy.
Wow, but
you know, brother, I beg a pay a guy to give me a job back home. I pay him to give me $20 to give me a job home in a private car. He really bring me back, really bring me home. And when I reach, you know, the bed not them down patch, they don't burn up.
Wow.
So people got to be careful with whatever you do in your house with 2 hour baking or whatever. We got to be really careful. We got to back check. And this ain't happened to me alone. It happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, man, yeah.
A lot of people complain to me about it. All right then, good program as usual.
Thanks,
all right,
man.
brother.
All right.
Timothy, before we continue, I just want to let you know, Rosie from Through the Alley, where you used to live, she's in Miami. She says hello, and she's listening to
Hey,
you.
Rosie. Morning, morning. How are you?
Yeah. And Happy New Year to you, Rosie. God bless you and your family also. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Rosie,
Nice.
man.
Yeah. Oh, you remember Rosie?
Yes,
Okay,
of course.
Cool. We just have about 3 minutes left inside of the program. Anything else you want to share before we wrap up today?
All right, so I just want to emphasize to persons that you guys would have worked hard and tirelessly to achieve the things that you have, the personal belongings, the personal effects. And don't let a lapse in judgment cause all of that to go up in smoke, all right? So pay attention to your surroundings, pay attention to what we do daily, pay attention to how we can continue to be fire safe within 2023.
Before we wrap up, Culture made reference to, suggestions to new requirements for public transportation. Is he speaking to the appropriate authority, or he needs to send that to public transportation?
Public transportation. But I just want to say, where that is concerned, it's proper, it's good to have a fire extinguisher within your vehicle. That in itself, too often we have vehicles while driving on the road catches fire, and if you have a fire extinguisher handy, that can save major damage to your vehicle.
Thank you for being here once again, Timothy, and enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Thank you very much, JK.
And I'll see you next week.
Definitely.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place.
All right, it's 10 o'clock in the studio. Well, just about 10 o'clock in the studio. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back. Remember, we have the joke of the day coming up. You can vote for the joke of the day. Coming up against Janet Macaroni joke, we have the mail-in joke. So we'll see how the people vote this morning, if they're going to be voting for the mail-in address. Mail-in address. You'll get this in a bit. Mail-in address joke, or will it be the macaroni joke?
I'm done laughing and all.
Don't touch that dial, man. We'll be back right after this.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Louise Clark from the St. Kitts Nevis Fire and Rescue Services with your safety tip for today. Keep items that can catch on fire at least 3 feet away from anything that gets hot, such as space heaters. Smoking materials can cause residential fire death. If you smoke, take precautions. Smoke outside. Choose